Previously in the anime, Cain died while saving two girls from an attacker, after which he got reincarnated to another world. And the gods of this world blessed Cain with overwhelming powers that could turn the entire world upside down, so Cain was hiding his powers to live a normal life. But one day he saved the daughters of Duke and the king from an orc army, and being scared from monster, both girls felt safe with Cain and dragged Cain away with them. Both Silk and Tellys refused to let Cain leave and even took him to sleep in the same bed. Now thanks to that, the king granted Cain the title of Baron for his bravery, but actually, King did this so that Cain could get eligible to marry Silk and Tellys because he slept with them. Cain saw no way out of it and agreed to marry the two girls. Then as the story continues, Cain goes to the gods to consult about his status, which was so inhuman, so Zenos suggested him to become a demigod. But first of all, Zenos wants Cain to bring in some sort of entertainment to this world, like a game or something, so Cain was thinking about it and ran off from the girls shopping. Outside he meets Parma after such a long time. She was here helping out her uncle with the shop, as it had all sorts of unique things, so Cain asked Tamanis to build the game of Reversi. Cain showed him how it should look and Tamanis agreed to give it a try. So while he was leaving, his sister Rain was waiting for him outside as she was pissed that Cain bailed out on her. But Cain sugar-coated her with compliments and she got sold out. So that day Rain showed all types of dress she brought until Cain got sick of it. Then the next day Tamanis called Cain and showed the final product. It was a perfect copy and Cain showed him how it's played. Tamanis saw the future profits instantly with the sales. So Cain told him to build two types of models, one for nobles and one for commoners, that way their sales will go higher. But the funds were the problems, so Cain got him covered there immediately. And Tamanis then signed the contract under the name of the god of Commence. After that, the game became such a hit even among the 7 gods, and in the midst of it Cain forgot about his debut ceremony. So he quickly got ready for the event and arrived at the royal castle to attend the event where all noble kids make their debut. There he again ran into the geezer. But Cain avoided him and met Silk and Eric. Daddy sure gave a warning smile, and they all pretended like they just met each other again to keep Silk and Cain's engagement a secret. But there Cain gave off compliments to Silk like a smooth player, so Graham told Eric it's because Cain has to always compliment Rain or else the tomboy could get upset. Then their king with his wife and daughter made their entry, and one by one every noble were gathering to give their greetings to the 3, and when Cain's turn came in, Cain once again did the same as he did with Silk. Even the king was surprised how good Cain is with the ladies, but Cain changed the subject to the new game he made. He showed it to the king. And the king orders Cain to meet him after the party to discuss many things about the future. So now that was over, Sarah and Graham went off to meet up with other nobles. And Silk then got here because Tellys will still be busy for a while, so both were hitting it off like natural couple, and Cain asked Silk to call him by his name with no title. But seeing them, Cornion's son came here thinking Silk will fawn over him. But Habit's lackey were trying to look down on Cain, yet Cain introduced himself as a baron, but they thought Cain's father was a baron. A baron is usually the lowest ranking noble, and thus, Habit told Cain to apologize to him for addressing him, a son of Count, in a normal way. Cain tried to calm him down, but Habit called Cain out to teach him a lesson because his lackeys are blessed with God's blessings. Those two were so confident in their magic skills, and with a weird incantation, one of them casted a mini powerful fireball. It's way too weak. Then the second one gave his best with that same cringy moves and he was the same. They look like total idiots. That's why Silk got in and told them he's Baron Cain, son of Margrave Graham. And he's the one who saved her and Tellys from 50 orcs. That gave them a good lesson, so the 3 idiots ran off. It was fun to see their reaction, and Silk knew Cain was playing with them. Then soon after that, Cain got the key from Prime Minister Magna to his new mansion, so Cain quickly went off to check out his new home. But it was a totally rundown place, so Cain fixed the house, remodeled it, and even fixed all the broken things with his magic. And after he completed the whole cleanup job, his personal maid Sylvia came in with a few maids and a butler to work here. She sent all of them quickly to start the cleanup job, but Cain had already done the work himself. Then Colin reminds Cain that his brothers were coming today. So Cain took off to his other home to meet them, Jean and Albec. They are his older brother, but they are from Graham's first wife. Both of them were proud that Cain got a noble title and a mansion. So after meeting with them, Cain brought his father, mother, and sister to show them the mansion, and they liked the place, but it felt empty without any decorations. So Graham just casually suggested to Cain some things like painting, vases, or monster to decorate the home. So Cain puts out a monster he hunted down in the hallway. Later they heard a scream. So Graham and Cain came down and saw Cain actually put down a red dragon which even a whole A-rank adventurers party could barely take down. Then they heard another scream, and this time it was Sarah. She got shocked when she went to the toilet because water came out automatically. It was a modern toilet system, so Graham was confident that visitors who would come here would be very pleased. Cain didn't know, but all the nobles who owns a house prepares a small gathering as a debut party, and since Cain has become a baron, he has to arrange this gathering as well. But he couldn't invite the king because only a count or higher noble could invite the king, so Cain started to make things to gift all the nobles who would attend the party. Foods and drinks were checked, so Cain thought of giving something rare, so he made a glass with a unique design for the guest and then prepared a hamburg and bubble wine. But then the king called out to Cain because he didn't got the invitation card, but only higher-ranking nobles could invite the king, yet the king was Cain's father-in-law. So Cain made up he wanted to give the invitation in person and gave it to him, which saved him from the disaster, and then the party night started and everyone loved the food and drinks Cain had prepared. In addition to that, the queen loved the toilet system Cain had installed. So the king didn't know the speciality of this modern toilet and gave it a try, and after that he told Cain to make their royal castle toilets the same. Everything was going well as guests were pleased with the party and arrangements, but their Corgino arrived here to stir up trouble. He never liked Cain from the start and insulted everything he offered like a disgusting pig. But he liked the designer glass and told Cain to give him all the glasses he had because he's the highest ranking noble here, so Cain holds him off for a bit until King came in. And seeing the king himself, Corneo got his lesson and backed off, but King knew Cain just used him as a heavy weight and again scolded him for pulling out this trick. So after that, on a random day, Cain just went to the royal castle to give some monster material to Diam. And seeing the dragon and orcs, Diam was shocked. So he took Cain to introduce him to his captain, but she was running late, so all the knights there challenged Cain for a fight. But their captain thought all the adults were bullying a kid and came down to save Cain. But Diam told her Cain was the one who saved Silk and Tellys from 50 orcs, which awakened her battle junkie instincts, and she herself challenged Cain for a bout. So Cain played along with her and gave her a head-to-head fight. But naturally Cain ends up winning the fight in the end. And Captain Tijuana falls for Cain so hard she decided to marry him. She's the captain of the Royal Knight Order and she's also the daughter of Duke Liebert who rules the north. And the age is no problem because she's an elf and she'll at least live for 300 years so she could wait. But she's Duke's daughter so she can't decide her life partner on her own. But Tijuana had already told her parents she would only return back home when she finds her life partner, so it's gonna be fine, but still to announce her decision. Tijuana goes to King to tell him this and Cain explained what happened a while ago. Cain had no idea who Tijuana is. That's why King told him that the Liber territory that she comes from is actually an elf nation. Elves are born beautiful, so many dragged them into wars to enslave them. Seeing this, the first King Yuya took them under his protection, and that's why the Liber territory is self-governed despite being part of Esfort Kingdom, which basically makes Tijuana a princess of the elf nation. But the problem is that Cain is already engaged with Silk and Tellys, so for once it looked like Tijuana got heartbroken. But in reality it impressed her even more, so the king told Tijuana to first get permission from her father, and she stormed off to complete her work with Cain. All of them were wondering how Cain was so weird, which reminds Diam that earlier he asked Cain if he's a disciple of God or something, and Cain's expression changed for a little while. So Prime Minister Magnus suggests to test Cain. So when Cain returns from training, King gave him a spell book of king-ranked magic. Cain excitedly started to read all the spells which confirmed Cain is odd because the language the book was is Japanese. Cain remembers the first king's name was Yuya, so he got busted red-handed. Cain was scared that he might lose everything if he reveals the truth. But still he gathers the courage and told them that he's been reborn into this world and came from the same place as the first King Yuya. Then he showed his status to them, which gave them a shock of their lives because the title, God's Chosen, is enough for the whole world to bend down and submit to Cain. But Cain refused to have that because he's happy with the life he has now. In his previous life he was an orphan, so getting the love he never experienced is all he could ask for. That's why he wants them to treat him the same as they did until now. King understood Cain's sentiment and recognized Cain as grandson, but moving forward, King wants to pass down his throne to Cain. Then even Tijuana came in with the approval from his father, so the happy third marriage is on the way. So when Silk and Tellys found out about the third girl, they were angry. But Silk got fine because she was having fun with Cain, but Tellys was still angry, Then Tijuana came in again and dragged him out for another training session. But for today, our video ends right here. That's why stay tuned to watch the next part of the video. Till then, subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get the latest update. So take care.